Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday, May 12th, 6 p.m. Town Board meeting is called to order. First item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Chief Peterson, would you lead us in the pledge this evening?
I'd be happy to lead in honor of all the armed forces, all that have served. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Any corrections to it? Item 3 is to approve the minutes of the April 14th Town Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 14th meeting minutes with the additional correction or information on number 18 as requested.
I think that was
Yep,
read in.
It's written in.
Is there a second? Motion Patty, second Kathy. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Item 4 is our public comment period. People wishing to address the board limited to 2 minutes each in duration. Public comment period to not to exceed 30 minutes in total length. Anybody wishing to speak prior to the meeting this evening? Mr. Ronhead?
Well, Ron, I'll at least ask a question. We're doing roadways this year. I don't know what the process is, I guess, but do we notify people that?
Writing the letters today.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we did write them.
You covered
Not quite yet.
like all of Blueberry, all of Mulberry?
Yes, sir, yes, sir,
whatever
yes,
else
sir.
it is, huh?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
anybody else? Hearing none, regular items. First one will be the monthly reports. Fire Chief Don Bone is absent this evening, and Supervisor Paulson will go over it.
Okay. The fire department, we currently are staffed with 53 fire and EMS members and 7 EMS members only. We currently are looking for new members for the fire and EMS, so if you are interested in helping our community out, please contact the fire chief, and he will indicate if you would like to be on the fire side or the EMS. All department vehicles are in service. Pump on tanker 3 was rebuilt by the town crew. The ladder truck, the new ladder truck, is at Red Power for refurbishing and should be here by the end of the month. The request for service, since the last report to the board, the department has responded to 35 calls for service consisting of the following: 21 EMS calls, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 3 mutual aid, 1 CO call, 1 false alarm, 5 wildfires, and 2 EMS assistants. That'd be with United Ambulance. The monthly training, the department consists of the following. RIT, there will be no training this month. The EMS training will be street drugs presented by the Grand Rapids Police Department. And the fire department training will be ladders and relay pumping. The department held and attended, will have the following meetings. The monthly department meeting was the first Monday of the month. Department officers meeting, which is the, I believe, last Wednesday of the month, and training meetings, which are indicated. I think it's the 3rd Monday, and I'm not sure the EMS date. I think it's the 3rd Thursday. The department held and attended the following events last month. The Children's Fest, which was April 25th at Lincoln High School, and I know that went over very well. They had a lot of attendance. In fact, I know those guys were probably the last ones to leave. They actually had to stop. They were taking kids through the smoke trailer and that, and very well attended. And I know our department was there from the beginning all the way to the end. And also they have we have a blood drive at the fire department on May 13th,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. That's in the morning,
Yep.
I believe, yep. And that's the report.
Okay, any questions that he's obviously probably won't be able to answer?
It'll be a good guess and we'll make it sound good, but it won't be a,
Annual celebration is when?
the third, 27th on the Saturday this year. So it's a different date this year, so mark your calendars. So it will be on a Saturday and not the Sunday event. It's coming together nicely, so.
Thank you.
You bet.
No safety report, I assume?
There is one on here, but there says no
There's nothing.
injuries.
No injuries, hey, good.
Oh, we're good.
Police Department, Mal Peterson, Chief.
Good evening, everyone. Month of April was very busy. We handled 442 calls for service. This compares to 385 calls for service from a year ago. That's about a 15% increase in calls. Again, the board should have a breakdown of those calls. Police Department issued 46 written warnings, 52 municipal ordinance citations, and 70 traffic citations during the month of April. As far as training, excuse me, Officer Anderson, Officer Adamczyk, and I attended weather spotter training at the Wood County Courthouse here in Wisconsin Rapids. That was 2-hour training put on by the Green Bay office of the National Weather Service. And basically what it did is it gave instruction on spotting bad weather as it's forecast to approach. You know, different cloud formations, which ones are bad, which ones are not so bad, which ones are rain, which ones are hail, things like that. So it was an overall good presentation to kind of to see what, when bad weather's rolling in, what the potential is. So, and it also covered resources that are available either on the internet or apps that you can get on your phone, so that the public in general can be informed when severe weather's approaching, now that we're in that season. On April 17th, I attended evidence-based response to violations training. That was at the Probation and Parole Office here in Wisconsin Rapids. Probation and Parole has come up with a new system, I guess you could tell, of their clients that they have on probation and how they judge them or rate them when there's violations of that probation. And it was very eye-opening. Basically, what it did is this new system, it focuses on preventing bad behavior by providing resources to help deal with the individual issues that each individual may have. And part of it is rewarding good behavior. Vice punishment, which a lot of times is just throwing them in jail, and they're finding through the years that doesn't typically work, so they're trying this new approach. It started in a region over in Eau Claire area. They've had that for about 1.5 years now, and they're just implementing it here now. And by the time they start seeing results, I'll probably be long gone from this earth, so we'll see how that works out. On April 27th, Chairman Nystrom and I attended media relations training at the Northeast Wisconsin Technical College in Green Bay. It was 8-hour training, provided a wealth of information when dealing with the media. Topics included critical incidents in the media, managing the media in an ugly situation, news conferences, media relations do's and don'ts, and a topic that the instructor affectionately referred to as feeding the animals. It was great information for both me and I think for Arnie also, but and the instructor was very entertaining, so it kept us all engaged. Finally, Officer Anderson, Officer Kubishik, and I attended electrical safety training for emergency responders. That was several dates. We went on the 28th and the 30th. It was at the Waterworks and Lighting Commission building in Wisconsin Rapids. It was just 1 hour training, just kind of a refresher for safety information for first responders when dealing with electricity, down electrical wires, poles, hazards associated with the electrical utility lines and electrical substations that I think we all kind of know it, but it's good to have a refresher on it so we all stay safe when we respond to specifically car accidents that meet up with the electrical poles. Vehicles are doing great. No maintenance problems with them. And if, once again, my door's always open. If anybody wants to ever stop in and talk, I'm always, most of the time, available.
You weren't here much today, were you?
No, not too much today. Month of April was a lot of time out, so.
Okay. Any questions for the chief? Go ahead.
Just a comment, I think this is National Police Recognition Week.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I'd like to say as a citizen, I'm appreciative of what you guys do. Since I've lived here, I've had 3 minor incidents, and your people were truly professional in the way they handled it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we hope to continue that and get even better serving the residents of Grand Rapids. So.
Any other questions? Just one comment on the seminar that I was at. There was a short little video about giving information to the public, and a gentleman was in front of a smoke screen which was a burning marijuana field that they got up and burnt. And he's starting to talk through the story, and he started stumbling on a little bit of words. So they cut and did a retake, and he got worse. They cut, did another retake, he got worse. And you could see what was happening. He was inhaling the smoke, and that marijuana was affecting his speech. And finally he just said, and he was done. But it is a reminder that what drugs do to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't take long.
No. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you very much. Chris Gator, got a little treasurer's report for us?
I'm gonna give you one. So for the month of April, our revenue was $144,000, and our expenses were $414,941, which is 40% of our budgeted amount of expenses for the year. Our total cash on hand, $1,480,000, and that consisted of a checking account which has $106,000, repo account $1,324,838, a money market at River Cities of $312,000, and we currently at the end of April had $263,000 in outstanding checks. Any questions?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
No?
you.
Bill
Do
had
you
questions.
do you do the court and what the arrears are in tax and everything? Do you log that or does somebody else?
I do not log that.
Okay,
No.
okay.
I think
Thank you.
Jewel does that for us. Anybody else?
Okay, next 3 items, we have public events that we're going to discuss. This is something new for us. We've issued a permit process for public events when they use some part of the town roads. It's primarily to inform all of the departments in the town that if something is going to happen on one of our roads, and whether it needs to be assisted by our police department or other services, it's kind of a way of getting it on paper and going through it. So our first one to go through this evening would be Walk for a Life First Choice Pregnancy Resource Center, which event is going to be on May 23rd. Is there a representative from them here? For them? It is not. Okay. Board, did you see anything on these when you reviewed them that you had any questions on?
I did.
Go ahead, Patty.
In reviewing the insurance policy expiration date, it indicates that this sheet that we received for liability insurance expired on 7/1 of 14.
we'll have to get hold of them before
Yeah,
their
and
meeting.
I did notice that it didn't show us as the additional insured either, like it was supposed to.
Yeah, actually, on the very last page, that was one of my other questions too. It said the commercial general liability coverage part modifies, where did I read this? I should push.
The event is on the wrong date, it's showing the wrong date for the
Well,
event.
right, the event, yeah, the
That
event.
might have been their last year's insurance. All right, we'll get that cleared. Bill, what'd you have?
Yeah, well, one of the other things is I noticed is that, does the fire chief need to say yes or no?
Yeah, he signed off.
Fire chief did sign, and he said yes.
I don't have it on mine.
You got a signature right there.
Well, okay, it says signature of fire chief, signed off, checked yes, fire chief, okay.
See how we're doing that?
Okay,
The first two
okay, now I see.
lines are for the police chief, and then for
Oh, okay.
the, okay?
So assembled area approved or disapproved?
That's a separate item.
That's a yes or no by you guys.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're learning.
Yeah, so, but I really don't think all this is necessary, but I mean, I know this is the first one, but all this information is necessary, do you?
That's what we
It's
decided
up
on.
to you guys.
Right.
I mean, as far as the permit itself, or as far as the review of and the approval of it? Bill?
So it probably says in here is how many people they expect,
250.
250 people. I was thinking with 250 people walking, do they have to contact United Ambulance Service to,
I've told the people that I've talked to on these, as far as the organizers and the ones that I've been dealing with, that, because one of the questions in the permit is, have you notified emergency services? And I said, I don't believe that you guys felt it was necessary for them to pay to have an ambulance sit at the event. But we would like them to contact United Emergency and just let them know that event is taking place on that day.
oh, okay.
Just to give them an indication that there could be something, maybe more than another day, because of the 250 people that may be walking around around the lake. Or in the Corvettes, the amount of cars going through the town or something. But
Okay.
I did not tell anybody that they had to have ambulance on site or anything like that.
Certain events would dictate whether you'd want to have an ambulance or not, and something such as maybe a triathlon where you're running in the water and then you're biking and you're more out in the public, whereas a walking event is typically, a walking event is
Yeah.
So if
pretty much
250,
non-hazardous.
so if 250 seniors come in here, would you think they needed an ambulance?
We can't
It's not
discriminate,
my
Bill.
decision.
We do not discriminate, Bill. All right, so is there consensus to approve this once the corrections are made on the insurance?
Yes.
Right.
We need a motion?
Or you have something else, Patty?
Yeah,
Linda, then?
and this doesn't affect whether to approve or not, but one of the things that I thought about going through this is when they talk about the signs or marking of direction signs. If there was a list that they were going to say that they set one up at this corner and this corner, so that when they're done with the race, that they go and actually retrieve them, to remove them,
Well,
just a thought.
I
And,
don't-
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say, and that's one of the things that why I added the additional conditions or requirements. If there's something that you're not seeing that, where they filled out, or in an instance like that, all temporary signs must be removed
That's
by noon the next day, or, that type of a thing. That's what I was thinking of as far as additional conditions or requirements.
okay.
All right, so Dan, now were you making a motion to approve with the insurance correction?
Yes.
Is that good? And seconded by
Second.
Kathy? Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye for the first choice pregnancy walk.
Aye.
Right.
I'm an aye. Is there any opposed? No opposed. Motion does carry. That goes in that pile. The next item on it is the approval of the Renaissance Race Against Cancer, Renaissance Learning, 5K walk run. Representative is here, I assume. Thank you, sir, for coming. Very well put together, thank you.
Yes.
I think it covered everything that we were looking for. Just for information, for your purposes, Lake Avenue is one of our roads that is going to have some repairs done. We're hoping for next year. All depends on the funding that we get. So we are doing some temporary patching of some of the bigger chunks, trying to get it to live through the year, and I hope that we'll get it corrected. We understand there's pretty good road surface there. In some spots, there's 12 to 14 inches of blacktop on that road. So we might just sell the blacktop and have enough to pay for it. Questions from the board?
I make a motion to approve the,
Motion, Bill, second.
I'll second it.
Dan, further discussion for Renaissance Learning? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Corvettes of the North. We're on Bigard's here. Questions on his?
I see the fee wasn't paid yet.
Oh, no,
I forgot, mine was,
I forgot it when you were in that
I
day
did
too.
it tonight.
Okay.
And pretty much as the past, our police department has, and our auxiliary works real well. And you'll be in contact with United. And of course, you're at the Lions, so you got plenty of porta potties.
I'll make a motion to approve the Corvettes of the North, pending the payment of the fee.
Motion Dan, and second Kathy, all in favor, I'm sorry, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, is there any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Item 9, open and possible awarding of bids for gravel. Got cash?
15. Oh, I can't do change.
I'll get it for you.
We'll get it back.
I got it.
This is all on video.
Give it a
Paying off the chairman, there you go.
20, not 100.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
what Corvette are we betting on?
Is there a raffle this year?
Oh, there will be. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna open up sealed bids for gravel. The first one is from Bone Trucking. Somebody want to keep a tally? Judy is, I bet.
Not the sheets.
You'll have the sheets worked up. The Bone Trucking is approximately 2,500 tons, 100% three-quartered rock at $10.76 per ton. Kramer out of Plain, Wisconsin.
1076, is that what you said?
Yep, I think I did.
Yes, 1076 per ton.
All right, who stole my letter opener already?
Right there.
How do you say, is it Krem? Yeah? Krae.
Two-pager.
That's 2 copies of it. Kramer LLC, pleased to quote $11.45 per ton. Laddick Road Materials. We will supply and deliver 500 to 2,500 tons at $11.08 per ton. Bone, huh? Okay, We received 3 quotes ranging from 1076 to 1145. What's your wishes? Lowest one is Bone Trucking.
I make a motion, we go with Bone Trucking.
I'll second that.
Motion Dan, second, motion Bill, that was correct?
Yep.
Seconded by Dan. Use Bone Trucking for our materials this year. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? None opposed. Thank you very much. Item 10 is approval of the aqua skiers for water vents to close Lake Wazicha from 6 a.m. July 16th to 9 p.m. July 19th, State Water Ski Tournament. Any representative here? I don't believe there is. No changes from the past. Fencing will be there. Off-duty officers, as I understand, will be surrounding the beverage area.
I believe the auxiliary's already been contacted for their day, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the closure of Lake Wazicha on the dates as presented and the location as presented.
Second.
Motion Kathy, second Patty. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Item 10, discuss citizen complaint and concerns on road town snow plowing and procedures for plowing town roads. Dwayne Mayer has asked to, and I graciously decided to allow him to speak to the board as a whole with his concerns. Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'm happy that you put the word discuss on here because I didn't want to leave tonight with not a feeling for, am I all wet or do I have a point? I've been in Grand Rapids for 7 winters and the first 4 of them just perfect. Then I put up your reflective markers. And the last 3 years have been hell. And I called the office here to see who I talked to, and unfortunately, they gave me the chairman's name, and he's had to put up with me for 3 years of complaining now. But basically what happens is every time the snowplow comes through, when he gets to the people next door to me, he starts cutting in a little bit. By the time he's 17 feet onto my property, he's 30 inches deep in it, all the way to the other end of my property. And I know I'm responsible for the posts, you guys don't pay for them, and the reflectors. And that's not my complaint. I'm just saying, what's he doing in there? And I talked to the chairman and had him out several times. And he said, I'll talk to him. Well, for the first 2 years, everything just stayed the same. Every time cut back in there, and 10 out of the 12 that I had, the first 2 he didn't knock down, but the rest of them he did. And then this past year, well, I talked to the chairman last summer at the town garage. Just happened to run into him there. And he asked me if things were any better. And I said no. So this year in early December, the same thing happened. Cut in there. He didn't go all 36 inches in, but he went 30 inches in. And did some damage to some stuff, and I'm not complaining about that again. I'm just complaining that he cut in again. And he gets back out before he gets to my neighbor who has the exact same reflectors that I have up. And the guy across the street from me has the reflectors. He gets nowhere near those. And I'm sure that 90% of people in Grand Rapids are happy with the job that the snowplow guy does. But I've talked to other people too, I said, I just don't understand. I put up these reflectors and it's like you don't even put them up. And I gave you a handout there, I think the first page talks about the reflectors, and it said, they're up for sale as an aid to the driver. And in my case, it hasn't been an aid for the last 3 years. And I'm just kind of frustrated, I don't know where to go. Like I said, I've had the chairman out there several times, and the last time he was out was in early March. And the snow had started to melt a little bit. We could see very clearly the lines of where the snow piles were. And I said to him, why does he keep doing this to me? And his answer was, I don't know. So that's my complaint, is I just want the same respect my neighbors are getting. And it might not be my property. I tried to read the right-of-way rules, and I'm not sure if it's mine or if it's town's, but even if it's the town's, as far as I'm concerned, he has no right doing what he's doing to me. And I could go on, but I think that's enough maybe to start a discussion anyway.
Any questions of Mr. Mayor?
Is this on a corner?
No, straight as an arrow.
Looks like it's straight, yeah.
Like this is how
Oh, wow.
it's
I did check with the crew, and we've had 5 different drivers in there this year, so I have no idea which driver may have strayed from the edge of the road. All I can say in their behalf is that, you know, it's something we don't do intentionally. There's never been a case of us targeting anybody. There's no reason for us to target any one property. We do have issues with some people, as even in where Mr. Mayor is, that cheat on the edging of where they space their markers out. You know, we asked them to put 3 foot in because that's where we may have to use the shoulder of the road for snow plowing. And I think in the case of Mr. Mayor, it's probably 3 foot to where his edging on the black tubular type edging is. That gets clipped on the top of it. There is not a lot of drop off from that shoulder of that road to the ditch. It's not his fault. That's the way that subdivision was built. There is plenty of drainage there, but the degree off the road is very shallow, not hard. So if the blade is sitting flat on the road, the driver wanders, whether it's from an oncoming car coming down the hill or he's tired or whatever it is. Unfortunately, that's what happened. Up the road towards the end of that road, I saw a spot where we probably rolled in 1.5 feet. However, there was no finished edge to that area at all, just a dirt edge. So you can say that was able to be rolled back and done. So, unfortunately, as Mr. Mayor knows, that the town, we don't replace any damage. The average distance from the edge of the road is 12 foot of town property, town right-of-way, and it's primarily used for utilities or whatever and piling of snow. However, we don't try under any circumstances to affect anybody's looks of their yard, and we don't intentionally do anything. More discussion, Bill?
I went out and viewed this myself this winter, and I saw it. I didn't see it happen, but I just think if I hired somebody to plow my large driveway for a long distance, and every time they plowed it, they dug a furrow or did some damage to me, I think I would complain and I would be on that person. But we don't seem to do that. And all we tell the people is, well, that's town property. Well, who's the town? It's the residents that live here. That's who owns that. It's the residents that live here.
Well,
and I think.
Go ahead, finish up, Bill.
And I think that when plow drivers do something, knock down somebody's, they should make a report of it. And then you know who did it and it was done. Not that it's held for disciplinary or anything like that. You would know who plowed that road.
How do they know when it's dark, Bill?
Right, I've mentioned this before and I know it's not gonna go anywhere.
I did offer to put up one of the white posts at the edge of the road for him. However, he sent me a letter back, requested me not to put it there. I said that was my attempt for this next year is to put a white edge marking where we do on some of the corners. To put it up there and see if we can stay away from it. I mean, we don't intentionally. I've talked to the crew. I've talked to at least the 3 ones that are full-time. I've talked to them, and they don't intentionally do anything. It's the silliest thing for them to want to do damage and then have to face any one of you board members or residents.
You know,
that
did
they
you
don't do
say,
it.
when you said the white marker, did you mean like one of the chevrons?
Yeah, no, the ones that we have that are about this wide,
Okay.
right on the edge of the road,
Oh, I see.
but,
If I can just respond to my request not to have that.
mhm.
If they can't see 12 reflective markers, what good is one white one gonna go? And I know that they're gonna go up there once in a while, but there's 3 of us right in the group there. For 3 straight years, the same thing has happened. And the other ones he never gets close to, and mine, whoop, whoop, whoop. And there aren't any left. 2 out of 12 are left. And like I told you, he's got something on me somehow. There's something going on here, and you said we don't hire people like that. I hope you don't, but, you know, I put up with it for 3 years before I came here, and I didn't want to come here. My wife says, don't, you won't get anywhere. And I said, I can't take it anymore. And
Kathy?
Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for appreciating and understanding that there is a certain amount of distance within, you know, that is first town right away. You know, you recognize that, you acknowledge that, you said that's not your issue. I guess my concern is, and I'm not going to be able to get an answer tonight other than he said kind of moment here, but come winter, I do think that we ought to follow up, because I do have some concern if what he's just describing here is true. I get that they might go off and they might get into this stone rock area, which, you know, if they went all the way down the road that way, makes
Yeah,
sense.
but
But if they are just doing his lot and coming back out, then I think we need to look into it. And obviously, we won't be able to do that till next year when the snow flies.
I did look around a lot of it, and truthfully, there is nobody that has that type of edging except Mr. Mayor. The gentleman to the west has brick, which is down right with that, you know, the same stuff I have in my yard. It has a brick which is down lower to the ground than the gravel. It skips over the top of it. I've seen a lot of, on our curvature roads, we see often that we're not far off the road, we are off the road. You can just,
I think you're missing my point. I'm not complaining about the damage, I'm not complaining about anything, except why. Because do you know how long 3 feet is? I don't know how long his blade is, but he's got to have, if the street.
total width would be 14 foot that they could be.
14 foot?
The wing and the blade would be about 14 foot
So
they
he's
could
got
cover.
about 20% of it off the road when it goes by my house. I mean, that's a lot when you go in that much. I don't see anywhere close to that on a regular basis like I get. And he doesn't knock them all down in one try or one snowfall. It's a few now and a few then, so it just keeps on going in. And obviously to me it's very obvious, but you know. I
Anything else?
agree with what you said. Maybe I should wait till next year. If it happens, maybe I should come right away to a meeting.
That's
and
the
say,
time,
"Come on."
well,
Right.
not even to a meeting,
Just
when
to
it happens, call one of us
call.
so that we can come out and actually see,
But,
is it
you know,
just
Kathy,
a lot?
I've been there. He's called me and we've come over there. The issue is it's still the town right away. It is the town
Right.
property. We try to maintain it. We don't try to do it. But in the event of a car coming down the hill and he's got to move, what happens? The blade's going to go, you know that.
I was moved in front of my house somehow or another.
It's not just yours, I can
No,
tell
out
you
of
that.
those
Right,
3 of
I-
us, there's 3 of us.
No, I can tell you there's other subdivisions that I've talked to.
I've
I
received
know.
Yeah, I
those
mean,
as well.
I probably spend more time on snowplowing than anything else, quite frankly, and we try to maintain the best roads in town of Grand Rapids. We plow them every snowplow, we don't just plow them once a year like some areas do. So, anything constructive?
At the beginning of the snow season, I'm not sure if you actually go through different, like a training session or a reminder session or things like that, would you be able to?
The two of the crew have 20 years time in and they've gone through the classes. I do, not every year, but they do go to that public safety one every couple of years in Toma. So they are updated on that. They know how to, well, and Could be any one of our crew, could have been the lead man with 25 years, or the one with 24 years, or the one with 1 year, or the 3 part-timers, we don't know.
First 2 years it happened.
Yeah, the same guy's been on your route for 20 plus years,
You
so.
said it was Rick.
Rick's been on that, that's his primary route, but it doesn't mean he always does it. Because being the lead guy, he gets pulled off to do other stuff such as salting and whatever. So. Anything else? If not, we're gonna move to the next agenda item. Item 12 is to discuss the request from
Thanks for coming in.
Teen Fireworks Committee and your request for request for $1,000 contribution as in the past. What's your wishes?
Make a motion to make a donation of $1,000 for the 4th of July fireworks to the Teen Fireworks Committee.
I'll second.
Motion Patty, second Kathy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Item, where's my, it's here somewhere. Item 13 is the chairman's recommendation for town committees. I did change just a couple of committees up this year as I want to spread the learning knowledge out amongst committee members. So vice chair is Elf, legislative is the full board, myself on the ambulance board, the airport again, Clendenning and Lumbee. Finance is the chairman, the clerk, and the treasurer, and the rest of the board when we get into the budget. Economic development, I'm asking Patty to take the lead and Bill to be the secondary. Personnel is Elft and Paulson is the secondary. Public buildings, Paulson and myself as the second. Public safety, Elf and Nystrom. Public works, Nystrom, Paulson. Recycling, solid waste, Bill Lumbee and Carol Davis. And weed commissioners, Rick Austin and Jake Billmeyer.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve your recommendations.
Second.
Motion Kathy, second Bill. Any discussions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 14 came out of a recent town officers workshop about changes to the ordinance 42, which are confidential and income expense provided assesses for our border reviews. And there is another procedure now that is legal for people to testify over phone. We did take the town's association's ordinance and ran it to our attorney. And if you wish, we can put this into place for this year. However, as I understand, we don't have anybody yet for border review. But if you don't want to approve it, want more time to discuss it, it's up to you. But I thought we'd have it available. Pretty clear as to what the Towns Association wanted us to do.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 42 relating to the confidentiality of income and expenses provided to assessor for assessment purposes in regards to the sworn testimony is allowed by telephone.
Thank you. Second by Bill.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Item 15, discuss town paying for publication of meeting notices. As we're aware, the Tribune is not willing to print our meeting notices, and Judy did, I believe, get an idea of what one would cost.
So, the first email that I copied off was for putting the notice on, say, page 2, 3, where they usually print it up. And that they said they're able to do for $18 per inch. That the girls cut everything out of the paper or scrapbook. And I said, what would it cost to do that? And that, he told me, would fit in a 1x5 and would cost $90 to publish.
That's here.
Just that there. Now, going to the legal columns in the back of the paper, that, what I gave you was a couple of copies of items that we've published in the past, our amending ordinances, a small one like this in the legal columns, which would probably be a very short agenda. I don't know, I didn't check with Dan. I don't know if we're publishing it ourselves, if we could cut the agenda items down to the wording where, like they did, or if we need to keep our agenda items as detailed as what Dan has told me we legally need to do on agenda items. But in essence, this would be running you about $24 for a normal, probably what we'd have meeting agenda would be looking at $41. That is in the back pages of the legal columns. So like I said, to do something in the...
Those, they don't print the legals every day, do they? Bill, isn't there
Yeah.
some days that they don't?
They print them every day, legal notice.
And I did question as to when I would have to have it to the paper. And he said, if I got it, as far as like page 2 and 3, the $90 a time, if I got it to them on Friday, it would be in Tuesday's paper. The legals, they can usually do the next day if I kind of push them. Otherwise, that's a 2-day, not counting Saturday and Sunday.
So you have to have 2-day notification?
Yeah.
I've gotten them to do it if I got behind on something and all of a
Okay.
sudden needed to get something in quick and they
But they're not
got
going to
it in the next
consistently do
day.
that.
No,
They're gonna-
but
So,
we're not consistently late either, so.
like I said,
Discussions.
to do anything on say the second or third page, you're looking at roughly $90 a time.
Discussions, Bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So legal notices are the ones that you're required under law to print. And you're just saying that they would take an agenda item and print it cheaper in the legal section than they would in any other section of the newspaper?
Yep.
Because they print it smaller print and all that stuff.
I don't know, I called the legal, I talked to the person that did my last legal notification that I put in, and that was the prices that, that she gave me, and then like I said, based on what we just put in recently, which they have the prices on there.
I'm starting to see some activity from the new paper in Rapids again. It's done by the Buyers Guide Group. I did see one town did have their meeting notice in there for one of their events, so I'm not sure if that's going to be an option for us. You see that, Bill? And there was
Yes.
one there from Siegel or Saratoga, wasn't it?
One of the times, and I see, I also get the Portage County Gazette, and they're printed in there, of course, free. I know that's Portage County. But, I think it's very unfortunate that the newspaper don't print them free like they used to. And they've received a lot of telephone calls, but they have never gotten back to us on it. And we know a lot of people that call the newspaper and encourage people to call them, and I guess they're not going to do anything. However, I think we should pay for them. I think that notice out there is very important, and I know that now the governor in the governor's budget or a separate bill, whatever it is what they're going to do is require towns to only have to publish it in one place in the town. And also they're going to publication of anything. All you have to do is say, we are updating, as a legal notice, we are updating ordinance number 39. Please refer to our website for further information. And that's what they're going to do. They are trying to do, so.
I think over the past, the Tribune's circulation has gone down. Does anybody have a handle? Have they indicated to us what the circulation is in the area? Bill, have you had a conversation with them?
That's my concern, Mr. Chairman. I've talked to a few people since the last meeting, knowing that we were going to talk about this today, and most of the response I get back is, who gets the paper anymore? And sadly, that's true with a lot of population. And I'm not prepared to support $90 a time, a meeting notice, times each meeting notice that we put out. We could have the conversation at budget time to see if we can afford something through the budget and then determine which, is it board meetings, is it committee meetings, who and all, is it abbreviated, is it in full length? I think we reach just as many people through Facebook, and we have several different avenues of Facebook as well. I just think it's very costly to invest in for a small handful of people who may subscribe to the paper.
Judy, what do we have on our email services? Is it 120 or so now?
Yeah, I think I counted 140 maybe.
So what we're getting through email notifications that we get out, they sign up on our webpage and we email to them. Now, and again, I'm going to preface that I know everybody isn't on email.
Right.
But I did take it upon myself to tape the meeting notice to the inside of our outside door window. So, I mean, otherwise our meeting notice is inside, people would have to come in. But if it's on the window, maybe that's another avenue for them to come and stop by on whatever and find out what's on it.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Go ahead.
I would much rather invest the money. We had talked about at one time putting up some type of outdoor communications board. And I would much rather see that investment put there, and people who are interested can swing by on the first of the month or periodically throughout the month. And I mean, our town board meetings are obviously always the second Tuesday of the month, so there's plenty of time to stop by and see what's on the agenda that's upcoming.
Well, even if we go with, let's say, we could get by with that $40 one, there was approximately 51 just town board meetings alone last year, or so that equates to over, $2,000 alone just for those meeting minutes or that notification, not to mention all the other committees.
What I'd like to do is talk to Scotts Rapids City Times. I know they're just ramping up now their publication. They're starting to get, I think their last publication was a fairly informative publication. They had quite a bit of information in there. And seeing what their schedule is on meeting now, that would cause us some difficulties to have in their Friday, because it would certainly have to meet by the Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's a Thursday, but I'd like to pursue that just to see what they're looking at, how well they're looking at serving the community. We are trying our darndest to provide all the information that the public needs and wants, yet we consistently have the same attendance or whatever. So, what's your thoughts? Bill, you had your finger was pointing at
I'd
you
like to
again.
make a motion to try it for the next 3 months, publish our next three, in the next 3 months, publish these in the newspaper. The thing that is, they say not a lot of people are getting a newspaper. We paid to have this televised. We don't know how many people watch it, but it don't get any more people to the meeting than it does with a newspaper. So it's just letting the public know we're having it. And I think when we had the referendum, we sent, and the town was for the referendum, we sent the letter to everybody, and it cost us a lot of money. Didn't think anything of that. I just think it's important that we do. So I think a motion we at least try the next 3 months.
Is there a second to Bill's motion?
I can second it.
Second for discussion purposes. Discussion. I'll be voting against it, I can tell you, because I want to pursue all the avenues first before making a decision to spend the town funds on a non-budget item. Dan?
Is there a difference between the publication, the actual hard copy of the paper, and then the online version of it? Do they, you can get the online version only of that? Is
Oh,
that,
the newspaper?
Yeah, is that separate, a separate,
You have to, well, and again, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay $10
Well, the people-
a month for the e-version, which is the actual template. Their electronic version that they have online is an abbreviated version. It doesn't have all that stuff like the legals or whatever.
Oh, it doesn't.
so it does
Does
not?
not.
Okay.
Their e-version, the e-version, which is $10 a month. Their weekly version, if you take all copies, it's now it's being raised another $3 a month to $20.
But I was just wondering if the publications could get.
No, they're not in there.
They're not in there,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was thinking.
Kathy?
That
Mr. Chairman, at the request of Mr. Hether, I will also explain my vote in advance that I will be voting opposed to it. But again, it's because I think that is a high cost without further consideration of other options that are available to us. It's much higher than I had expected to hear.
And what was the other option you were saying?
I wanted to talk to Wisconsin Rapids City Times, which is just now starting publication again. They're in the buyer's guide. If you receive the buyer's guide, you're getting their City Times, and they've got a wealth of information, and it's similar to what we had from The Voice.
Oh, I see.
And it's hard copy, no cost to you, comes free to your house. Every mail tube has got one, gets one stuffed in it. The buyer's guides ads for sell-its are gone down because of Craigslist and whatever. So now they're being innovative and putting a little news with it. I read it, my wife read the whole thing and said, wow, this is starting to look like something. And as Bill confirmed with me, I did see one meeting notice from another thing, so I'd like to pursue that and see what the cost is before we make a decision.
Mr. Chairman. I'll also be voting no against it, and just for that reason also, I'd like to pursue the other options and see what is available there with the, was it Wisconsin Rapid Times?
Wisconsin Rapids City Times.
City Times, and then also the, like I said, the cost, I think is pretty extravagant because you can't just post one or two. You either post them all,
Right.
or you post none. You can't really pick and choose what you're gonna post.
No, you can't just say planning or board meetings, but plan commission meetings are sometimes more important sometimes.
Yeah, I think it'd be setting us up for
Failure.
You bet.
All right, any other discussion, Patty?
Yeah, I guess hearing about understanding a little bit more about the other option that may be out there, I too will vote no against this only because of the fact I do want to see the other option. However, the price may be, as you say, extravagant, or it is totally non-budgeted. We just spent $6,000 last meeting for upgrading computer systems for non-budgeted money too. Sometimes there's just a price a person has to pay for things that are required or needed, so.
That's why
But
we
I
have
would like
contingencies.
to, right, I would like to have you
Yep.
also look into that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of Bill's motion to 90-day trial? Print the notices? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye.
No.
And it is 1-4. We will see what we can find and bring back some more information. Item 16, approval of police department bond schedule, adding violations for new ordinances.
Make a motion to approve, Sam.
Motion, Bill, second.
I'll second it.
Dan, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. I'm an aye, any opposed? Motion carried. 17, April disbursement vouchers, yeah. Any questions?
I do, and I apologize for the amount of questions I have this time, but I was late in reviewing them.
I can tell you, you'll see one voucher for the siren.
Yeah.
Tune of $5,000, that's a partial payment on the siren. We had to pay in advance for it, that's one of 64th, Griffith Avenue has died.
Yeah, and
That's what that is.
that was one of my questions there. Did we do a tornado drill?
Yeah.
Okay, the first choice fire protection is $719.50. First choice fire protection, what was that?
Fire extinguishers.
Fire extinguishers.
Those are special fire extinguishers for car scenes.
Oh, is that going on the new?
No.
Okay, that's
No.
not that one.
I don't believe they're special fire extinguisher you need for cars now. One's going in his truck and one will be on engine 3.
Okay. And then it says monitoring service of Infotech.
That's our software.
That's, okay.
That's a new one that you just approved for the
Okay.
24/7 monitoring.
Okay, that's that. Thank you. With the Volvo grader, the front tires,
Yep. We had trouble plowing and we couldn't stay on the road with them. They were
cups.
cupped in the wrong tread, so we swapped them out.
Okay. And then what are fire department epoxy kits for?
Those are some material that we're going to put on the hand grips of tools so that when the fireman grabs it with a glove, it's got a grip that will stay in place rather than a smooth piece of wood. It's a handle grip. In other words, the epoxy coating you put on first, and then you put this crinkly powder stuff on top of it, and then you have a grip that'll stay permanent on the tool.
Okay. And
3 for 3 so far, huh?
yeah, good job. It said 50/50 2015 road aid for $8,000. That would actually be for a paid invoice.
Okay. We pay the county $8,000 and we get six.
For the 50/50 road aid, we pay them $8,000 and we get $4,000 back the following year.
Okay, that's all. I just thought it to be,
When we do budgets, you'll see 8,000 in the expenses and 4,000 in the revenue.
okay. That's it, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
You doing good?
Okay, good. Operator license, did we have any?
No.
Monthly reports from committees, Public Works. 48th Street Bridge. We had some significant issues with it from the first monsoons that we had. We were losing the drainage that goes off to on the west side of the creek. It was flowing into the neighbor's property instead of going down into the creek. Long and short of it, 12 yards of concrete, and we have it now shaped up, and it'll go back to the creek. Anything that comes down the road will then is funneled back into the creek instead of rolling over. What it did, it was breaking away all the sand, and it was washing it away, and it started to break away. That should be fixed.
Because I know the day you said you were gonna have it poured and it's
Yeah.
raining out,
Yeah, we
so I
waited.
didn't know.
So we actually poured it in 3 different times so that we didn't order too much concrete at one time and then have a bunch to waste, so we did it in 3 different batches. We have most of the trees cut down on cherry wood, where we were cutting some of the trees off so we can redo the blacktop there. Crew is working over on 49th and 50th now, getting those roads ready, so we're good to go. All the equipment is working well. Plan Commission, Patty? Or I should say, was there any questions?
No.
No, okay. Patty, plan?
Yes, last night we met, the Plan Commission, and we had 2 land use permits, one for storage buildings resale for Dean Ramsden, and then also Sprinter Computers
off of Griffith, thank you.
So those were both approved.
Anything else?
We had our new person, Jeff Brubaker, who was his first meeting last night. He's appointed to the Plan Commission. So he did really well, the questions and everything. It was, worked out very well at the meeting last night.
Any questions of Patty? Bill, on the airport, what's up?
On the airport, we're RFP for our new flight base officer. On the July 13th, we'll be doing those interviews. And also, they have to be in by July 2nd. Another thing we're doing is the tree trimming that has to be done on public property. We're trying to hold on May 21st at the library, but we got canceled out of there. Got sort of a public open house on it. We're going to have the people from the FA there, and we're going to answer questions about your trees. We have those all picked out now. Okay. Did you get a copy of it, Arden? I'll send you a copy of the different ones in the town of Grand Rapids of trees that have to be cut because they're in the flight path. So we're having that open house.
Do you need that appeals board to get set up?
We're working on that too. The mayor has a question in to that, to the FAA. If that's not FFA, that's Future Farmers of America. FAA. Okay, and also just to let you know that some of the stuff that's significant is total airplanes in April was 106 compared to 95 a year ago. And total operations was 268 compared to 177. And personnel, this is people, when you come in the door, you're counted. But total personnel for the month of April was 136 compared to 119 last year. And the fuel sales were up. Where our jet fuel was 505 gallons compared to 100 the last time. And the other gasoline that for airplanes, other than the jet fuel, was 1,233 gallons compared to 569.
Oh, wow.
So,
What's the stipend that the association gets, or the commission gets from the sale of it?
I think we get 10 cents a gallon on it. The rest goes to the FBO operator.
And is he paying for the insurance on it, or?
Yes, he does, and the cleaning of the tanks and things like that. And that's all in the new FBOs.
I think I read that in there. Yeah, I thought that was good. All right, questions? Public buildings didn't meet. I can say that. Recycling and solid waste, Bill?
Well, we have our Choose to Reuse is this Saturday, and I think we have sufficient number of people to be wearing the vest, and a lot of telephone calls and a lot of questions. It'll be on over the back fence. I paid for an announcement for the next 5 days. Today was the first day, and Saturday will be the last day that they have it on over the back fence, the announcement. And I also be there on Thursday with Carl Hilke at 12:40 on his newscast.
Okay, questions?
TVs, what are they getting for TVs?
TVs and monitors are below 26 inch are going to be $10, up from 27 inch and up to 49 inches, they're going to be $25, and 39 inches and 49 inches and above is going to be $40.
Okay. Legislative committee didn't meet. I guess there was no more questions for Bill, is it?
We just want to mention too, the auxiliary, the police auxiliary is going to, Mel's working on getting a few volunteers to help with the traffic flow.
Okay. It's important. Public safety, Kathy, nothing?
No meetings.
Economic development was nothing. Personnel committee, nothing. WTA meeting. Bill and I believe were at the last one, right?
Right.
And Jeff Brubaker put on some information about the septic systems, et cetera, et cetera. Some of it was old and some was pretty new, but the long and short of it, you got to pump them once every 3 years. And as he was talking about it yesterday in my mail, was my little card reminding me that it's now 3 years.
And we got 2 at the town here.
Got 2 letters too?
2 letters.
All right. Anything else in that, Bill?
Yeah, well, one of the other things is that, you know, there was a lot of freeze-ups this year, especially in the town of Grand Rapids, of course. In the rural areas is where most of all the septic systems are. But you know, we got a good handout on it, and you know, there's going to have to be a lot of work done around, and Jeff's office is very busy. And they did mention the other things about Peter Manley was there, and also handed out the things that come up in the future, such as the border review and its rules and regulations. Otherwise, a good meeting.
Okay. Individual board members, Bill, you're up. You might as well start.
I don't have any.
Dan?
No, nothing.
Patty?
I attended the Wisconsin Towns Association hosted a spring 2015 town official workshop. Bill, Arnie, and myself attended, and topics were town road operations and implement of husbandry updates. And I thought it was really interesting. One of the things that they talked about was a traffic signal. Remember when we talked about having a traffic signal on the corner over here? They had given a cost that a normal traffic signal on a corner costs approximately $350,000, which, you know, by installing it, maintaining the whole history of it.
That's a stop and go light. So.
Right, yeah. And they spoke about ways to improve rural road intersection safety, and that was to make sure signs are visible when approaching them, using stop ahead or reduce speed signs, provide good visibility at the intersections based on stopping sight distances, and utilizing flashing beacons. So I think a lot of our rural intersections meet a lot of those requirements. And also they spoke about road safety regarding slopes of ditches and pavement edge drop-offs, poor pavement friction and poor sight distances as being lead contributions to road hazards or safety. And then also I just wanted to, I don't know if everyone had a chance to read their May Wisconsin Towns Association report, but I thought I would just hand this out to you guys, that if that's something we want to read and look at as far as, they were talking about the Wisconsin Towns Association legal opinion in regards to purchasing procedures that towns should have or follow their recommendations. So I didn't have a chance to read her suggestions in regards to our policies, but I just thought it to be interesting.
Okay, anything else? I have no comments. Judy, anything? Kathy?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple. One, I wanted to share with the board, with those who are listening. Last month, we had talked about our road ride-alongs meetings, and there was a comment that we're the only town that does not do these ride-alongs. So I had asked the clerk to send an email out on her clerk's listserv to see if there were other municipalities who do or don't follow that same practice. And of the responses that came back, 58% do not have town ride-alongs. Those individuals, most of them indicate they don't do a road trip because they have a Public Works committee that makes recommendations to the board, and or they have Public Works leader that makes recommendations to the board. The 42% who do, a lot of those had said they still do a road trip because they are a 3-person board or they do not have a Public Works committee. I wanted to also share with the board that last Friday I attended LeaderCast 2015, and I don't know if anyone has ever heard of that, but this was the second year that I became aware of it. I wasn't there a year ago.
Mid-State?
And it was at Christian Life Fellowship, but it was a webcast nationwide. So it was held in, I think, Atlanta, Georgia, and then had speakers Peyton Manning, Rudy Giuliano, Malala. It was very nice to listen to. I have to admit, my boss wanted me to go, and I had that moment, and I told her this, so I can be on camera and say this, but I told her. I had that moment of, oh gosh, do I really want to go to this? It was very good. So if we hear about it for next year, we should keep it in mind to attend. I would recommend it.
And could you repeat what the title of it was?
It was just called LeaderCast, so next year will be LeaderCast 2016.
Okay.
And I think it's always held in May of each year.
It is, yep.
So it really was amazing.
Dan, have you
Some
been one of
powerful
those?
stories.
My wife knows
Oh, yeah, good,
that she said the same response.
Okay.
good.
And then lastly, I just wanted to share, as the gentleman who had left had mentioned, that this is Police Safety Week. And I went online to try and find some statistics, some information that we could share. As we know now that each May our nation salutes the American men and women who put their lives on the line every day to maintain public safety, hold accountable those who break the law. Our law enforcement officers have extraordinary tough jobs. They regularly work in dangerous environments and in high tension situations. There's approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including our dedicated Town of Grand Rapids Police Department officers. Nearly 60,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in approximately 16,000 injuries. And since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty. These professionals serve to protect their communities, and they deserve to go home safely to their loved ones. Our police officers, our mentors in our schools, I take it to heart.
I know, go right ahead.
Familiar faces in the community, and given what's going on in Madison and all the other communities, it's time we step up and we thank them for what they do. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, you got anything?
I do.
Good.
In April, I had my Spring Treasures Conference in Milwaukee, and the things that we discussed were accounting challenges and GASB updates, which is taxable benefits, clearing of the tax roll, recording new debt for the topics. Violence in the workplace, it was called the active shooter. I guess we in Grand Rapids are fortunate to have a police department as part of our building, but not every municipality is set up that way. However, they say the first thing you should do is get out. Obviously, if you can't get out of the building, hide under your desk, grab your resources, like your scissors or your letter opener. That's what I got out of it anyway. Your cell phone, make a call if you can. We talked about open records and open meetings laws, what is or is not a public record, such as Facebook pages, phone calls, videos, text messages, emails, etc. Privacy in the digital age, legal issues in the digital frontier. I have lots of information in my office regarding those concerns. Bankruptcy 101, when to file a claim, can you collect for unpaid claims, etc. Interestingly enough, real estate, no you cannot. Personal property, yes you can. The Department of Revenue had an update. Mostly what they discussed were the changes with Open Book and Board of Review. And that was it. It was
Thank
a
you.
good conference, thank you.
Okay. Item 21, public input. Anybody wishing to follow up with anything? 2 minutes in length. Mr. Ed?
Hey, I want to thank you guys for explaining your votes on that, especially your nay votes. I thought that when I asked for that, one of the things I said that if you explain your nay vote, maybe somebody else will think that's a good idea. It seemed to work pretty good tonight. Not to say that one way or the other, but thank you for doing that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have a suggestion for you.
Go ahead.
I think it's a great idea to promote the meetings via Facebook, to try that because it's free, and the emails that you have. And you can, I think if you talk to, or if you look at listgiant.com, you might be able to purchase emails, an email list for the community. They can break it down even by street addresses. But every person that comes in for dog tags, taxes, and the question, has a question, if you request their emails, I think your list will grow quite a bit. It'd be pretty pretty easy to get it. And if, I don't know who creates your website, but if you add on there a resource where people can, you know, if you'd like a newsletter, give us your email address.
Yeah, we have that link on ours, and that's where we started to build
140-ish.
140-ish or so. And it's still building, and that's a good suggestion, and we should look into every avenue for every way that we can get the information.
Right, even when you have the voting coming in through, I mean, that
Yeah.
may be a great time to have fill out a slip of paper with their email address.
Yeah, we find that when people come in to vote, they do a lot of things, they look at a lot of things. Unfortunately, once in a while, you're standing in line a little bit, so you look around, see what's there. Our fire department has been selling the numbered signs, and it's every week we do another 5, 6. So, I mean, it's continuing to grow. The populace is accepting that, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure on our website if we can enter or if it's set up that the person has to go on and request the notification. I don't think we can enter them from our end, because I think there's something, you know, those funny little numbers that show up that you have to type in the right ones.
Even if it's
I can check on it
for
though.
somebody using the site, I think paper is expensive, and to read the ads in the back of it is hit and miss.
It's something maybe we'll especially next year when sell compost passes, that we could have a little thing printed up that says, you know, go to our website, do this, and receive the notices of the meetings, you know, way of publicizing it.
Okay, anybody else? Items for next agenda, anything as of yet? If not, we'll develop it as it goes. Item 23, who wishes to move?
I'll make a motion.
Dan? Kathy, to adjourn? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.